What's up everybody, John from Old Dirty Farm here. Thanks for joining us. In today's video, we are going to be digging out a stump, and I'm going to do a little tutorial because I have been pulling out an awful lot of stumps recently, and I found a little technique that I'm sure anybody who has been an equipment operator or anybody who has spent a lot of time on tractors with backhoes will certainly know, but it was something new for me, and it made it a lot easier and a lot more successful in taking out stumps. So, a little bit about my equipment here. I have a Kubota L4701 HST tractor with the LA765 loader, and I have the BH92 backhoe. So this is the biggest backhoe that fits on the L series tractors, and I apologize if I'm moving around a little bit. There's a little bit of wind. But anyway, so I have on here, I think that's a 24-inch bucket. It's whatever comes standard with that. Yeah, so let me switch the camera around and talk to you about my overall philosophy when taking out stumps. So we are going to be taking out this little guy right here. I mean, that's maybe a 10-inch diameter log. We just pulled out a similar one right over here. But so here's what you want to look at. And obviously, so I am in Connecticut. Depending on where you're at, you may have different things to worry about. For me, a lot of what I worry about is what's on this stone wall here, stones and rocks. So anyway, so when it comes to stumps, and again, this is a small one, so it should be relatively easy. So there's a couple things here. So you're gonna have the roots, which go out in a diameter that way, and then you're gonna have the root ball, which goes straight down. So if we look at this stump that we just pulled out, so even though this is a similarly sized log, because I'm in Connecticut, there's a ton of these stones just built in. And so you're gonna have, see if I can roll this over. Yeah. All right, so this is actually probably about the same size, if not a little bit smaller. But so you can see, so you'll have the roots that go out sort of perpendicular to the direction of the stump. So they go out that way. And then you'll have the root ball under here, which will have some roots that go down. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna have two ways to attack this stump. Number one, you're gonna pull out the roots that go this way and, you know, all around. And number two, you're gonna sort of dig up the root ball a little bit. So we're gonna attack this by setting up our tractor. And obviously if you have a backhoe or excavator, it'll be a little bit easier. But so I'm gonna set it up so that I'm gonna back up and my bucket is gonna be on this side, right over the stump. And then my plan is gonna be to dig out on this side and on this side, all of that action. And then I'm gonna put one pile probably over here, because I'm gonna plan my next move is I'm gonna come over on this side, again with the bucket right over there, and dig out this side and this side. Now what that'll do, so basically the philosophy is that you want to sort of dig further away first and then go closer to the center. Because basically if you just start right next to the stump and try to pull those roots out, they're going to be way too strong. So you want to start out, break them off, and then go towards the center. And so if you think of the root ball underneath the root, so you'll break all the roots around it and then just sort of slowly dig closer and closer underneath it until you can pull it up. So I used to think that was it. So the most powerful force on this backhoe is the breakout point, whereas when you curl the bucket like this. So for this one, it's when you go to the right, but you can see nothing's happening. So what you can do is while you are curling the bucket towards you, you're gonna push this forward to also push the front end down. and then it's gonna pivot on the back of the bucket and give you a little bit of extra force. So for me, I'm gonna push this forward while also curling it in. And there you go, comes right up. So after going back and Catherine did the editing of this little tutorial, I realized it was a little bit difficult to really know what I was talking about. But so basically, so the breakout point, or the breakout is a statistic that they use to measure the strength of an excavator or a backhoe bucket. And the breakout, like I said, is really just when you curl the bucket. That's like the most strength that a backhoe has, because it's just pushing basically all of the hydraulic force onto the very tips of the excavator bucket, you know, like the little teeth. So when you're just doing that, that's technically the strongest point. But what I found is when you're also, so if you're curling the bucket and you push that lever forward, you're also putting some force down on the bucket. So instead of just curling the bucket, you're also sort of pushing it down into the ground there, so you're getting a little bit of extra leverage also. And you want to do that a little bit carefully, because you can, you know, overexert these things. But, you know, so I have a little 47 horsepower tractor, which is not that little, but I was able to pull out this gigantic oak stump. And I mean, this thing was huge. It was covered and filled with like bedrock that was in there, so it was really tough. Anyway, so that was like my main takeaway, was that I was able to sort of do all of this stuff. And you can see the ground over there used to be covered with trees and is now basically clear. And again, able to take out all these stumps. And so maybe I'll leave you with a quick time lapse of how I pulled out this most recent stump, which was actually pretty good.